What's up, interwebs, and welcome back to another episode of Berean Talk. My name is Christian Mosley, that is, your host and editor, and welcome back to another installment. Today is a special edition because the homie, Nick Hylton, came through today, an up-and-coming music artist and a longtime friend of mine. You know, we go back to, Go-Gurts and Lunchables in the Sandbox, you know what I'm saying? And today we're just going to be conducting an interview on him, his new music career that's up and coming, and just getting to know him as a person, you know what I'm saying? So without any further ado...
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk. That was good, right? That was cool?
Don't you ever disrespect me like that.
My God. All right, we'll just
this is my show.
We're continuing.
No, hold on. I need to say this.
Okay, we're having technical difficulties right now.
It is your show.
Move your hand. Now the people need to see this. Move it. Move it. It's my show. Move your hand. Move your hand.
Just continue, man. We're running out of space already.
Jeez.
Oh, crap. My lens is fogged up.
Now it's foggy. Look at you. Looking ridiculous.
How you look?
No, how do you look? Disrespectful, right?
No,
you thought I forgot.
Okay.
Run the intro. Run it. Run the intro, please.
All right.
I'm sorry. The intro.
That was
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew.
All right, peeps. So let's get right into the interview. Nick, I appreciate you coming through, my boy. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me.
It's an honor to have you here. Yeah. So for those of the people that's perusing around the interwebs, let them know who is Nick Hylton as an artist, as a person. Just kind of let us get to know you. What's your little resume you got going?
Oh, so my background. I'm 20 years old. I was originally born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My parents are from Philly, so we moved from Pittsburgh to Philly a couple years later. And then a few years later, in 2007, I was around 7, about to turn 8, we moved to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Originally Spring Lake, but it's right outside Fayetteville. So basically, I've been in the Fayetteville area for around 12 plus years now. So yeah, I'm just a guy who loves God, loves people, likes having fun, going with the flow. That's me.
All right, that's what's up. That is definitely what's up. All right, so, that's great and all of that. But another reason, for those of you guys that don't know, that Nick is here on the show is because he is a believer in Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I wanted to ask you was about, as far as even just listening to some of your music, that your spirituality, your faith is very intertwined in your music, almost flawlessly, just because that's who you are. So my question for you is, when did that personal walk with the Father, when did that start for you? And kind of why?
Yeah, so I grew up going to church since no womb. During 8th grade is when I started to really get deeper into it, studied throughout 8th grade. And then I got baptized actually before high school. But years down the line, I just realized stuff wasn't right within me, and I had to just be real with myself. That that first time going and doing those studies, it's my heart wasn't completely ready for it.
Right.
My faith wasn't really developed, and I was doing stuff for impure reasons, impure motives. Doing it because other people were doing it, or just because I knew it felt right, but I didn't exactly know what exactly all that was. What I really had to believe in order to do that.
Yeah.
So when I really developed my faith, which was around a couple years ago, I just decided, I need to really get this straight, do stuff again, just make sure my heart was right, that I could wholeheartedly give myself to Jesus. And so I was baptized again July 10, 2018.
Okay. So that's a little over a year ago now. Yeah. That's awesome stuff. All right, so that leads into my next question. So as far as your journey is in terms of becoming a believer, but then there's also, because you are a rapper, it's another reason you're here, rapping, it's an art form. very delicate art form for people that are doing it well. And so for you, at what age or what period in your life did you decide that, you know, rapping was going to be a thing for you?
Yeah, it all pretty much got real. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really get real, but it sparked in middle school because I met my friend Dakari in 6th grade. You know Dakari.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Dakari if you watching this.
But I met Dakari in 6th grade, and he was always rapping and always like trying to freestyle and like battle people on the bus and in class. And I was like, he really had an obsession. And like during that time is when I started to get more into rap myself. And so I started listening to stuff, and we just got into it. So we would just rap during school, freestyle, do whatever. And we just, you know, it was fun stuff. People just knew us as like those guys that like to rap. Middle school. But then when we got to high school, and it got a little more serious because like they had talent shows and stuff. And so Dakari was like, oh, well, let's do this talent show. It was sophomore year, and he was like, let's just do it, you know, show people we're actually, like, serious, we're actually good. Like, because we thought we were good at the time. Yeah. And I look back on that talent show, and I was like, it's kind of trash. I mean, the beat wasn't that great. You know, we didn't use the stage. We were stiff. We were wearing these weird outfits. I had on, like, a purple polo and, like, black jeans. And he had on like a button down that was like it was
classic middle school.
It's kind of weird. So, that happened sophomore year. But senior year is when I met my friend Julian Venny. Julian V-N-E-Y, Venny. He's a YouTuber, musician, musical genius, pianist, composer.
Shout out to Julian.
So y'all go check him out too. Like he's dope. But I met him. End of my junior year, beginning of senior year. And right after the junior year talent show, I was like, I'm already writing my song for the senior year one. Dakari wasn't able to do the talent show senior year. And so Julian was like, hey, you want to help me out? Because he was writing a song. And he was like, I need a verse. And I was like, all right. But I mean, can I do my solo thing and your thing? And I was like, I don't know. Turned out I could do both. So I ended up doing my solo performance and the performance with Julian. And that night was crazy. Because with my solo performance, I got second place in the whole talent show. And then with our group performance, we got first place.
What?
It was wild. Like,
that's wild.
And their energy during it was crazy. And then I look back and I'm like, God was really over that whole night. I know I messed up during my performance or whatever. Like, it wasn't the best it could have been. But people were hyped up.
That's what's up, man.
And I was like, God, like the song was called He Got Me, which is on my first album. And like, I had just done it on a different beat, and I just realized like God really just got me like in that moment. And it was wild because I thought about it later and I was like, hold up, this was a 12th annual talent show. We got first and second place, and I was the second act in the lineup, and we were the 10th act in the lineup. It was like 12, 12, 12. I was like, yo, this is God. Like, it was wild. So that sort of propelled a lot of things for me. It was just like, wow, like, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to get up and like inspire people, impact people, just have fun, make music that like impacts people for God. So that's when I started like thinking about, you know, rapping and doing this stuff for a career more. Not that like, you know, if it blows up, it blows up.
Right.
I'm still going to school and stuff like that. But I knew I had a passion for it. You know? So.
All right. You know what I'm saying? This is exciting. You know, just kind of seeing. And the crazy part is, so for those of you guys that don't know, so Nick and I, we go back years. So we've known each other for a little over 12 years now. And so, like, even bits and pieces of that, because we knew each other through church. We didn't go to the same school. But even bits and pieces of that and kind of hearing about, like, different stuff that was going on during that time. So it was cool even watching that evolution of you kind of coming into that artistry, which was, like, it was dope, for lack of a better term. But yeah, man, that's awesome, you know. And then the fact that during, like you said, during that talent show, it was your own original piece, at least for you when you did that one, the solo one, that was the one that kind of, you know, put a statement, at least to you personally. For everybody else, you know, that was in the room and, you know, getting hype and all that good stuff. But even for you personally, saying, I need to be doing this. And the fact that you enjoy doing it, but you have a purpose behind what you're doing, which is, to me, that's like the most impressive thing with all of it. Because you're not out here like everybody else wouldn't say everybody else, but a lot of people out here just clout chasing and then trying to slap a Christian fish sticker on top of it or whatever the case is. So I guess on to the next question. Okay, so being that now that you've pretty much started with your music, what has been your support base like? Especially because a lot of your support base, will, from what I know, stems from the church, if I'm not mistaken. So how was that taken as far as that being considered a quote-unquote contemporary art form? Some churches are not very welcome to stuff like that, whether it's sinful or not. And some churches are just like, hey, it's whatever. So as far as the church that you were in, what was that like being received by, especially with a new fan base? And then even at home, what was it like with your parents, kind of them watching you come into your own in this space?
Yeah, okay, so, I'll start with my friends. Like, my friends, obviously, like, they always back me. They're always like, hey, we wonder when we're doing stuff. And, like, your friends are always for, like, you following your dreams and stuff. So that's cool. But, when it comes to the church and my family, like, it could have been a lot different. But I've been fortunate enough to just have people really supporting me, in both those areas. And with the church, it's like, they love me, like, they know me, and they see how I am, they see me for me, and so, like, the music is also an extension of that. And so as far as my family, they've always just been supporting me for whatever, like, I want to do. I mean, of course, they're like, be smart about it.
Right.
But, honestly, like, all I see is green lights. Like, shout out NF.
Oh, shout out to NF, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't watched this.
They're just like, all right, go do your passion, whatever. Like, of course, I have a backup. Like, I'm still getting my degree, but, like, I like music. I'm making music. That's what I do.
Right. All right. So, now that you guys have heard a little bit of what this brother is capable of, he has a few albums that, of course, we didn't cram all into the show because that would take a while. But I did want to ask you about some of the albums, because a lot of them were very impactful, and I know that a lot of them have stories behind them, motivation behind them, and all of these wonderful things. So let's start off with the first album that you came out with, Daily, which was really good. But I'm only saying it like that because you've gotten so much better since then. But just as the first album was great. So kind of tell us and tell the viewers at home, a little bit about Daily, what was the inspiration, a little bit about some of the tracks, and, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of what was in that project was me writing about, during, like, middle school, high school, just, like, what I was going through, what I was feeling, things like that, how I was trying to, like, see God through it and, like, follow God through it, whatever. And, like, it was kind of raw, but, like, I had all these songs written, and then, like, I got to college, and I was like, well, I have all this stuff, like, I want to put this out, so I need somebody to, like, help me out so we can do this. And so, yeah, my friend Mercury from high school that I knew, he produced a lot of the tracks with me.
Shout out to Mercury.
And we just put it together, recorded it. We did a lot of it in, like, 8 days. And
oh, wow.
I had already written stuff, so we recorded and stuff in 8 days.
Right.
Produced the tracks. And, like, he helped me out a lot, and gave me a lot of good advice, too. But, yeah, that's how that came together. I just really had a lot of feelings. I just put it to the songs. I knew how I wanted it to sound. Of course, stuff organically came together in ways that I didn't expect, but it was all good. And ultimately, I just realized, like, it was just about my daily struggles and daily mindset when it came to things. So I just called it Daily, and we just dropped it end of 2018, and it happened. And I like how it turned out, like, lyrically and, like, content-wise, but right. As far as production quality, I just feel like I'm a bit disappointed. Right. But it happened, and I might do something else with it later, who knows. But definitely, it's motivated me to just keep going, like, do more stuff, do better things, so.
All right, so next is Colorblind. This track right here was honestly, number one, it's one of the newest tracks that you've put out. But number two, for me personally, it was one of my personal favorites because it was after the time, because you're talking about almost a year's time between you dropping Daily. So you're talking about, getting a lot of different types of feedback, getting a lot of different types of, tips and tricks from the rap industry and things like that. but then lyrically, like you beast mode, complete beast mode on this track. So tell me, man, you know, because it was a very multifaceted song. Tell me about Colorblind, the inspiration and just like the right, like that. It was brilliant to me. It was brilliant.
Yeah, so I had a project planned that I was gonna drop after Daily, right? I had a lot of songs written, I had beats, and then I, was talking to people, getting advice, and I just ended up scrapping a lot of the project, because like I just felt like it wasn't at the par. People were like, I don't know if you want to drop this, and I was like,
Really?
What? And then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I might need to like overhaul a project. So I ended up getting a couple beats from people. One of my friends, the producer HNO Trav, he went to high school with me.
Okay.
And so I got a couple beats from him, and to put on the project. Ended up scrapping everything pretty much but those beats and like Blessed. So I ended up recording Blessed. Blessed went through. But a lot of other stuff that I was planning for that project got scrapped. But I took one of those beats that I got from HNO Trav, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just write something. Let me see, I gotta be deep. My lyrical content, I was like, I gotta focus more on lyrical content, and just get deeper. I just started writing. What was on my mind was like some of the stuff I struggled with, like finances and racism. So I was like, I'm gonna just do this thing. It might be. I didn't even think I was gonna drop it. Honestly, I was like, people might not be rocking with this.
Right.
I was like, it's a risk. Like, people haven't heard this from me before. But the hook, I wrote the hook, and I was like, this might be baller. Like, that was probably the best hook I've ever written.
Right.
And I was like, I was just going ham on this song. So I was writing it. I just kept it hidden for a minute. I was like, this year, like whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna drop. I didn't think I would drop it. But then I just realized like it was good. Like, and I was going for a really aggressive flow, and I didn't know if people were really gonna be about it. But then I talked to my friend Dakari again.
Shout out to
Dakari.
Dakari.
We were working on different versions of that song.
Stay in this episode.
And we were Dakari just popping up everywhere.
It's the homie.
He's trying to blow up too, but yeah, we were working on different versions of the song. I kept going at it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just drop it. And like, it was a time where like stuff was happening on our campus. I go to UNC Chapel Hill. Stuff was going on our campus. And, in the news,
I heard about that. Yeah.
And I was just fed up, and I was like, this might help people. So I just dropped it, and I just dropped it on a Saturday in June, and I was like, all right, what y'all think? And surprisingly, I got a lot of good feedback. So that happened. But it was a risk, but I like the song. Other people like the song.
Yeah. So for those of y'all that don't know, this is another bombshell. So I know in Christian Nation Part 1, I gave you the bombshell that I was black. Second bombshell is Nick is also black.
Word.
If you didn't already know.
If you didn't know. So, but yeah, I thought that what you did was incredible as far as that song. But yeah, it was very relevant, and I think also it came from a place where it was like being woke right now, especially, and being a Christian and woke, is kind of like a trend. And so when you did it, it didn't just sound like you jumped on the woke bandwagon, which is what I'm like kind of tired of it. Now, it came around the time when that's kind of happening, but you've always kind of been like that anyway, so it wasn't that surprising that you even put that out. So yeah, so I guess on to the next question, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. All right, so I guess my last question for you, sir, is what is on the horizon for Nick Hylton? What I know, because you just dropped your new track, or your new album, actually.
Mixtape.
new mixtape that you just dropped down on the market that you can go get on many platforms. And just let us know, what's going to be on the horizon. Let us know about your new project, and what do you want the viewers to know before we head on out?
Go stream Wanted. It's on SoundCloud. You can download it for free on Spinrilla. And maybe some other mixtape sites. I'm working on that. But I've been working on. Actually, the story behind that is stuff just happened first, second year of college, and there were some points where just stuff was happening, and I just had to write about it. And I found a bunch of beats that I really liked from some different producers and doing stuff on YouTube. So like, go hit them up. Like Chuki Beats, Light and Scott, or Lit and Scott L Beats. Lucas, Cody, a bunch of YouTube trap producers doing trap beats. Like that's what I like. So I just looked it up, got a bunch of them together. I had a lot of songs written, went with it. A lot of what I wrote I finished writing it within a week. So that stuff was happening, and I was like, you know what? I wrote a lot of it in March of 2019. So stuff was happening. I was like, I got all these beats, I got songs, I'm feeling some stuff, just write. And I was nonstop writing that entire week. Some songs I'd already written, some stuff for. But yeah, it's more of, I'd say it's more of a daily 2.0. Like, it's daily with like better production, more variety in sound, you know, different types of beats. But it's overall the same concept of just like, you know, going from being in your element and, you know, all the struggles that come with that to focusing on, okay, God is here, like, God is for me, no matter if nobody else is. And so that's pretty much what I want people to get out of this project. It's like, no matter what, like, you are wanted in some way. Like, God wants you, no matter if nobody else does. If you don't feel that way, then, like, you know, I just want somebody to know that, like, even if there's nobody out there that you can go to for certain things, like, you can go to, like, God. You gotta find some connection. There's definitely a connection out there for you. You just gotta, like, look for it, have faith. And you'll hear, like, you know, I hit a really low point in, like, March is when I wrote a lot of this. And you'll hear it on there. Like, it's just raw. So, that's why I say it's more of a daily 2.0, because it's just me going through more emotions, things like that, and just always pointing it back to God. So,
all right. So for those of you guys that are watching, also the links will be in the description for his new album. You guys can go check that out. Make sure you subscribe or follow him on SoundCloud. Follow him on his Instagram, which will be put down below for you guys. Follow him on his Instagram and his Facebook. Make sure you guys go cop his albums. He's got a couple on Apple Music, I believe.
Dailies on Apple Music, some singles on Apple Music.
Yeah, a couple of singles on Apple Music. So if you have that, go ahead and check that out. But definitely the SoundCloud, where you can get all of his content. And yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome, especially you were talking about your writing process and being able to pull from a place that was hard, but being able to pull out some art out of that. Just like many of the Psalms were written, you know, David was sitting in a cave writing some of these, and some of the ones that we quote all the time, some of the most beautiful passages of scripture, sometimes come out of the midst of heartache or even hardship. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in once again for another excellent episode of Berean Talk. My brother Nick Hylton, appreciate you sliding through. And this is definitely not the last time you're going to see him. No. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in again. And I hope you guys were encouraged, that you were challenged and inspired, and all of those other wonderful cliches you leave at the end of other YouTube interwebs videos, whatever you might like to watch. And until my next appearance on the interwebs and his, pieces and blessings. We out. Yeah, we out.
I found it in you. All that I wanted was just to be happy. Just to be happy, yeah. I found it in you. All that I wanted was someone to